Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Doing something a little bit different today. I'm trying my new 3-camera setup, so you can possibly see one of the cameras is down here. I've got another one over there. I will at some point be having mini screens up in the top left and right hand corners when I'm going through this video, so please bear with me, it's my first time doing it. Today we've got another case review. It's another CiT case. I seem to be getting a habit of doing these cases. This is a C1055, as you can see. It is another mid-tower gaming case with a little bit of RGB in it. I have read the gump on the side of the box. Unfortunately, it's not a tinted glass side panel or a tempered glass. It's actually acrylic, so that's one thing on its downside. On the plus side, it is sub £25, again from my normal local supplier, CCL Computers, link in the description below. So yeah, we'll go ahead and unbox this and see what we've got. This is the box. Let's get it open. So I can tell by the weight, it is just thin steel. Come on. So there we go. That is the case. That's the front of the case. So there we go. So as you can see, I've got the camera set up here for the side shots. I've got a front camera over there. So yeah, right, first things first, yes, it is acrylic. It's not full side cover, as you can see there. It's not. It only goes down as far as the PSU basement. They've gone the normal cheap route, which is corner screws. However, this one looks like, oh, these are very tight. Let me just grab a screwdriver. There we go. It is actually a hinged door, which looks like, oh no, it is hinged. It has it has 4 screws that hold the door to the panel. It would have been nice if they'd actually gone the way of the likes of some of the modern Corsairs, where you open the door and it lifts off to make it easy to work with. In this instance, if you want to remove the door, you've literally got to undo those 4 screws. But yeah, as you can see, it is acrylic, and it does have a tint. As you can see through the from the camera over there, you can see it's actually got a tint. Put my hand in front of it. So yeah, so it does have a power supply surround, although it is vented, which is actually good because it means a power supply, if you mount it fan side up, which I know some people like to do, it can actually draw air in through the top from inside the case and exhaust it out the back. We've got all our usual suspects of front panel connectors, so let's move all these out of the way. So we've got HD audio, USB 2, USB 3, and all your normal little pins. Now this case does actually have RGB. If I just pull that closed again, it has an RGB strip down here, and it also comes with an RGB fan in the back. Now they are connected together on what I can only assume is a bespoke RGB controller cable. I'm assuming the controller is up in the top here somewhere, because there is an RGB button on the top, and then they're powered by the ugly Molex. So, but what I'm going to do, when I finish going over the case, I'm actually going to get one of my power supplies out, and I'm just going to hook this up and see what the RGB looks like. I'm just going to sit the power supply inside the case and close the door and see what it looks like. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. So as far as the inside of the case is concerned, we've got there's the bag of bits. Let me just remove. Ooh, yeah. Oh, the cable sliding. So we've got one hole in the basement here for bringing cables up from underneath. We've got 2 more holes in the back panel in case you're using like a mini ITX board. Let's just widen out that camera if I can. And then we've got 2 holes here for bringing cables in from the side, or if you're using a wider board, there are holes here as well to bring cables in from the back. In the top we have, it is literally just venting in the top. There is no holes in the roof. I'll close this and show you. There are no holes in the roof anywhere here for mounting fans in the top, which is rather disturbing. You would want to put maybe a couple of exhaust fans in the top, or at least one. So possibly the only option you could have there would be to maybe put a fan on the top, mark through it, and drill some fixing holes to physically fit your own fan in the top. That's kind of disappointing that they haven't thought about top mount fans. You do have space in the front. If I actually pull off the front of the case, which from memory is just a good, this is taking some doing. No, doesn't want to come off. Is it screwed in? No, it is just tags, but normally these cases are just a damn good tug and the front comes off. We'll give it another go. There we go. Right, so there we have on the cables here. There's the cables for your RGB, for your power. The actual RGB control button isn't on the top. That must be a reset button. The RGB control button is on the side here. There's a little push switch. I'm assuming that's what controls the RGB output from the fan and from the strip down the front. But if I move that to one side, you can see in the front there are openings for 3 fans, 320mm fans. Obviously you wouldn't want to put RGB ones in there. You'd probably want to put static pressure ones, because the airflow is restricted. The incoming airflow is restricted to some vents up and down the, actually no, it's all restricted to vents down this side of the case of the front. So that's your airflow intake. So to move as much air as you could through this case from the restricted airflow, you probably want to use static pressure fans rather than airflow fans. So yeah, I'll just click that back on again. Okay, so around the back, it's the usual story. We've got 120mm fan, I/O opening, 7 slots, and your power supply. On the back, thankfully I didn't need to use a screwdriver for these. He says too soon. Bottom one is too tight. We've done it with a hefty screwdriver, or someone with very strong hands. So on the back we have the usual embossing to allow for cable management. So this one's going to be better than the last couple of cases I've reviewed for cable management, because you've got space. Although, saying that, there is not a lot of space here. That's why they've given the embossing on the side panel, because there's not a lot of space here. Obviously you do have space in the power supply basement for hiding extra cables. You do have a small trough up the side here, which it looks like, yes. So the actual drive, there's a little drive sled that's removable for putting one either 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch drive into, but it's not the best, and that's just held in with one thumb screw. Obviously they couldn't put another thumb screw here because it would be it would protrude into the case. There are some more moulded mounts on the bottom of the case, here for mounting another drive to the basement. As you can see, we have one of those cheap little clip-in dust filters for the power supply, where you can mount your power supply fan side down. So all in all, yeah, not bad. It's, I'd say, slightly better than the last two cases I've reviewed, purely because of the embossing on the side panel. The actual distance between the motherboard mounting plate and if it was a flat panel, the space there would be literally, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, if that, of space for mounting. But because they've given it the embossing, and you've got that trough down near the front for cables to come up, so like your 24-pin ATX or whatever, which you would probably want to do, to be fair, because if you were to bring your 24-pin ATX up through either of, get the right camera angle, through either of these holes, you'd be pushing it for the thickness of the cable coming up from the basement into these for going behind the embossed back panel. But all in all, yeah, not bad. I've seen worse. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut away, and I'm going to get a power supply, stick it in, and we're going to connect up this RGB. Okay, so I've closed this side panel up, and you'll be able to see through the side panel to the fan at the back. Obviously, bear in mind, because it's still got the film on there, it will kind of distort the output a little bit. I've got a brand new AeroCool Cylon power supply hooked up. I've got the little jumper on it, so as soon as I switch the power on the back, the lights will come on. So without further ado, let's switch the power on and see how it looks. Looks like there's a... you do actually get some RGB coming through the grill as well. Looks like there might be a pattern. No, there's not a pattern there, it's just the way it's been cut internally. So I'm just going to flick through on the cycle on the button. So just some static colours. And there we have it. Rainbow puke. And then we've just got some cycling colours. And then we're back to some statics and some sweeps. It's actually not bad. I've seen a lot worse. Now, what I will say is, on this video, that looks like it's dotted LEDs. I can confirm, because I am looking through the back of the case, that is a solid ring. That is purely and simply the film wrap on the side panel that is making it look like that. It is actually a solid RGB ring, and this fan actually has RGB front and rear on front and rear rings. So when you put it up on a desk, say, you would actually see the RGB reflected out of the back against the wall. I don't know how well it's going to come up on there, but that's reflecting off of my hand as well. So yeah, it's actually not a bad. The RGB is actually quite nice. I mean, solid green, solid blue, and that's it's probably supposed to be a white, a yellow, a teal, purple, and then we're back to your bog standard rainbow sweep. So yeah, all in all, not a bad case. Like I said, it was about 23.5 quid from CCL. Like I say, I'll put a link in the description below for this particular case from their website. If you were to order it from their website for delivery, there would be a carriage charge. I think it's something like £5.99 or something like that, because for ordering from their website, it's got to be a £50 minimum order for free carriage. However, obviously, if you live local in Bradford area, you can go and collect from their trade counter. Their trade counter is open for collections. So, once again, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Helps the algorithm a lot. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when the next video goes up. Please also comment about the multi-camera angles. Let me know what you thought of those. If you think it went well, it might be something I'll do again in the future for the next video. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.